The 323 powertrain range includes 3 4-cylinder petrol and 2 diesel engines, as well as one 6-cylinder 2.0-liter engine designed for the sports version of the GT. See table. More often, we operate 1.5-liter gasoline versions, but diesel ones are very rare. According to the employees of a specialized service station, all motors are reliable and, with proper care, can last about 300,000 kilometers before overhaul. The 6-cylinder version is the most expensive to maintain. Even the ordinary procedure for replacing the timing belt flies a pretty penny. Firstly, you will have to pay almost 2 times more for the work than on 4-cylinder versions, $90, due to the dense layout of the engine compartment and the use of complex special tools. Secondly, this motor has more replacement parts and they are more expensive. For example, it has 3 bypass rollers, and not 2, as in a 4-cylinder engine. Their total cost is $150 versus $80, respectively. Only in the 2-liter is used the timing belt tensioner, note, about $150. In addition, spark plugs with platinum electrode tips are used in this motor. They are able to go 60 to 100,000 kilometers, but are expensive, about $27 per one piece. It is necessary to carefully monitor the timeliness of replacing candles in all gasoline versions. Otherwise, the load on high-voltage wires and the ignition coil increases. As a rule, it is the coil that suffers first, and this is an expensive part, since it is made together with the distributor. Even a second-hand one costs about $250. 323rd, operated in Ukraine, are mainly equipped with a 5-speed manual gearbox. We'll have to try hard to find a modification with a 4-speed automatic. Mechanics is quite reliable and requires only timely maintenance, oil changes every 70,000 kilometers. If you are used to servicing the car yourself, pay attention to one little trick. The gearbox has only a drain hole for oil, so you have to fill it in through the speedometer cable drive hole. The clutch is hydraulically actuated. It needs to change the working fluid every 2 years. If this is not done, then the mirror of the main and slave cylinders of the clutch wears out and the cuffs leak. At the same time, as a rule, you can't solve the problem by replacing the cuffs. 323rd is equipped with independent suspensions, front McPherson and rear multi-link with anti-roll bars, so the car is very well controlled and confidently keeps on a given trajectory even in tight turns. At the same time, the running is not rigid. The ground clearance of the Mazda 323 BA is greater than that of its predecessor, 150 millimeters, which allows you to drive on country roads without much fear. In the front suspension, ball and silent blocks are supplied separately from the arm. More often, after 30 to 40,000 kilometers, when driving on our roads, you will have to change the bushings of the anti-roll bar. Labor, $3, spare parts, $8 per one piece, and stabilizer struts, work from $4 per one piece, spare part, $17. Although replacing the rack sometimes turns into a big problem when the fixing nuts get very rusty and have to be cut off with the grinder. In the rear suspension, silent blocks of longitudinal rods, which are assembled, serve for not too long, 40 to 50,000 kilometers, work, $15, spare part, $60. The consignment note is the replacement of the wheel bearing. The spare part is about $150, as it comes complete with the hub. When buying a car, especially the first years of production, it is imperative to check the steering mechanism, which is equipped with a hydraulic booster on most versions. The fact is that over time, a pair of screws and nuts wear out in it, which is manifested by increased steering play and a knock when driving through bumps. Although service workers assure that with this problem you can drive for a long time. Corrosion is the main enemy of brakes. Because of it, the guides of the calipers, especially the rear ones, wedge over time, so when replacing the pads, the guides must be lubricated. In addition, the parking brake drive mechanism rusts. To avoid this problem, you need to regularly use the handbrake. Thanks to its diverse appearance, original interior, and a certain focus of each modification, the Mazda 323 won a lot of buyers from its competitors. Practical family motorists like the Eska sedan, fervent and active youth like the dynamic Efka hatchback, and the beautiful half of humanity like the compact hatchback.